and there escaped not a man. So Moab was subdued that day under the hand of Israel, and the land had rest fourscore years. And after him was Shamgar, the son of Anath, who slew of the Philistines 600 men with an ox goad, and he also delivered Israel. Chapter 4. And the children of Israel again did evil in the sight of the Lord when Ehud was dead. And the Lord sold them into the hand of Jabin, king of Canaan, that reigned in Hazor, the captain of whose army was Sisera, who dwelt in Harosheth of the nations. And the children of Israel cried unto the Lord, for he had 900 chariots of iron, and for 20 years he mightily oppressed the children of Israel. And Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lapidot, judged Israel at that time. And she dwelt under the palm tree of Deborah between Ramah and Bethel in the mount of Ephraim. And the children of Israel came to her for judgment. And she sent and called Barak the son of Abinoam out of Kadesh in Naphtali, and said unto him, Has not the Lord God of Israel commanded, saying, Go and draw towards Mount Tabor, and take you 10,000 men, children of Naphtali, and of the children of Zabulon. And I will draw unto you by the river Kishon Sisera, the captain of Jabin's army, with his chariot and his multitude, and I will deliver him into your hand. And Barak said unto her, If you go with me, then I will go. But if you will not go with me, then I will not go. And she said, I will surely go with you. Nevertheless, the journey that you take shall not be for your honor, for the Lord shall sell Sisera into the hand of a woman. And Deborah arose and went with Barak to Kadesh. And Barak called Zebulun and Naphtali to Kadesh, and he went up with 10,000 men at his feet, and Deborah went up with him. Now Heber the Kenite, who was of the children of Hobab, the father-in-law of Moses, had separated himself from Kenites, and pitched his tent as far as the oak of Zaanaim, which is by Kadesh. And they showed Sisera that Barak the son of Abinah was gone up to Mount Tabor. And Sisera gathered together all his chariots, even 900 chariots of iron, and all the people that were with him from Harosheth of the nations to the river of Kishon. And Deborah said unto Barak, Up, for this is the day in which the Lord has delivered Sisera into your hand. Is not the Lord gone out before you? So Barak went down from Mount Tabor, and 10,000 men after him. And the Lord routed Sisera, and all his chariots, and all his army, with the edge of the sword before Barak, so that Sisera gone down from his chariot and fled away on foot. But Barak pursued after the chariots and after the army unto Harosheth of the nations, and all the host of Sisera fell by the edge of the sword, and there was not a man left. However, Sisera fled away on foot to the tent of Jael, the wife of Heber, the Kenite. For there was peace between Jabin the king of Hazor and the house of Heber the Kenite. And Jael went out to meet Sisera, and said unto him, Turn in, my lord, turn in to me. Fear not. And when he had turned unto her into the tent, she covered him with a rag. And he said unto her, Give me, I pray you, a little water to drink, for I am thirsty. And she opened a skin of milk, and gave him a drink, and covered him. And he said unto her, Stand in the door of the tent, and it shall be, when any man does come and inquire of you, and say, Is there any man here? That you shall say, No. Then Jael, Heber's wife, took a tent peg, and took a hammer in her hand, and went softly unto him, and drove the peg into his temples, and fastened it into the ground. For he was fast asleep and weary, so he died. And behold, as Barak pursued Sisera, Jael came out to meet him, and said unto him, Come, and I will show you the man who you seek. And when he came into her tent, behold, Sisera lay dead, and the peg was in his temple. So God subdued on that day Jabin the king of Canaan before the children of Israel. And the hand of the children of Israel prospered and prevailed against Jabin the king of Canaan, until they had destroyed Jabin king of Canaan. Chapter 5. Then sang Deborah and Barak the son of Abinoam on that day, saying, Praise you the Lord for the avenging of Israel, when the people willingly offered themselves. Hear, O you kings, give ear, O you princes, I, even I, will sing unto the Lord. I will sing praise to the Lord God of Israel. Lord, when we went out of Seir, when we marched out of the field of Edom, the earth trembled, and the heavens dropped, the cloud also dropped water. The mountains melted from before the Lord, even that Sinai from before the Lord God of Israel. In the days of Shamgar, the son of Anath, in the days of Jael, the highways were unoccupied, and the travelers walked through byways. The inhabitants of the villages ceased. They ceased in Israel, until I, Deborah, arose, that I arose a mother in Israel. They chose new gods. Then was war in the gates. Was there a shield or spear seen among 40,000 in Israel? They chose. My heart is toward the ruler of Israel, that offered themselves willingly among the people. Bless you, the Lord. Speak, speak, you that ride on white donkeys, you that sit in judgment and walk by the way. They that are delivered from the noise of archers in the places of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even the righteous act towards the inhabitants of its villages in Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates. Awake, awake, Deborah, awake, awake, utter a song. Arise, Barak, and lead your captive, you son of Abinoam. Then he made that remains have dominions over the nobles among the people. The Lord made me have dominion over the mighty. Out of Ephraim was there a root of them against Amalek. After you, Benjamin, among your people. Out of Maki came down rulers, and out of Zebulun they that handled the pen of the writer. And the princes of Issachar were with Deborah, even Issachar, and also Barak. He was sent on foot into the valley. For the divisions of Reuben there were great resolves of heart. Why abode you among the sheepfold, to hear the bleatings of the flocks? For the divisions of Reuben there were great searchings of heart. Gilead abode beyond the Jordan. And why did Dan remain in ships? Asher continued on the seashore and abode by his inlets. Zebulun and Naphtali were a people that jeoparded their life unto the death in the high places of the field. The kings came and fought. Then fought the kings of Canaan in Tanakh by the water of Megiddo. They took no gain of money. They fought from heaven. The stars in their courses fought against Sisera. The river of Kishon swept them away. That ancient river, the river of Kishon. O my soul, you have trodden down strength. Then were the horses' hoof thundering by means of gallopings, the gallopings of their mighty ones. Curse you, Meroz, said the angel of the Lord. Curse you bitterly, the inhabitants thereof, because they came not to help of the Lord, to the help of the Lord against the mighty. Blessed above women Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite be. Blessed shall she be above women in that tent. He asked water, and she gave him milk. She brought forth butter in a lordly dish. She put her hand to the tent peg, and her right hand to the woman's hammer, and with the hammer she struck Sisera. She struck his head when she had pierced and stricken through his temple. At her feet he bowed, he fell, he lay down. At her feet he bowed, he fell. Where he bowed, there he fell down dead. The mother of Sisera looked out at a window and cried through the lattice, why is his chariot so long in coming? Why tarry the wheel of his chariot? Her wise ladies answered her, yea. She returned answer to herself, have they not spared? Have they not divided the spoil? To every man a young woman or two, to Sisera a spoil of many colors, a spoil of many colors of needlework, on both sides, suitable for the neck of them that take the spoil. So let all your enemies perish, O Lord, but let them that love be as the sun when it goes forth in its might, and the hand had rest for 40 years. Chapter 6. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord delivered them into the hands of Midian 7 years. And the hand of Midian prevailed against Israel. And because of the Midianites, the children of Israel made themselves the dens which are in the mountains, and caves and strongholds. And so it was, when Israel had sown, that the Midianites came up, and the Amalekites and the children of the east, even they came up against them. And they encamped against them, and destroyed the increase of the earth, till you come unto Gaza, and left no substance for Israel, neither sheep, nor ox, nor donkey. For they came up with their cattle and their tents, and they came as grasshoppers for multitude, for both had, and their camels were without number, and they entered into the land to destroy it. And Israel was greatly impoverished because of the Midianites, and the children of Israel cried unto the Lord. And it came to pass, when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord because of the Midianites, that the Lord sent a prophet unto the children of Israel, who said unto them, thus says the Lord God of Israel, I brought you up from Egypt, and brought you forth out of the house of bondage. And I delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptian, and out of the hand of all that oppressed you, and drove them out from before you, and gave you their land. And I said unto you, I am the Lord your God. Fear not the gods of the Amorites, in whose land you dwell, but you have not obeyed my voice. And there came an angel of the Lord, and sat under the oak which was in Ophrah, that pertained unto Joash the Abiezrite, and his son Gideon threshed wheat by the winepress, to hide it from the Midianites. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him, and said unto him, the Lord is with you, you mighty man of valor. And Gideon said unto him, O my Lord, if the Lord be with us, why then is all this befallen us? And where are all his miracles which our fathers told us of, saying, did not the Lord bring us up from Egypt? But now the Lord has forsaken us, and delivered us into the hands of the Midianites. And the Lord looked upon him, and said, go in this your might, and you shall save Israel from the hands of the Midianites. Have not I sent you? And he said unto him, O my Lord, wherewith shall I save Israel? Behold, my family is poor in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house. And the Lord said unto him, surely I will be with you, and you shall strike the Midianites as one man. And he said unto him, if now I have found grace in your sight, then show me a sign that you talk with me. Depart not from here, I pray you, until I come unto you, and bring forth my present, and set it before you. And he said, I will tarry you until you come again. And Gideon went in, and made ready a kid, and unleavened cakes of an ephah of flour. The meat he put in a basket, and he put the broth in a pot, and brought it up unto him under the oak, and presented it. And the angel of God said unto him, Take the meats and the unleavened cakes, and lay them upon this rock, and pour out the broth. And he did also. Then the angel of the Lord put forth the end of the staff that was in his hand, and touched the meats and the unleavened cakes. And there arose up fire out of the rock, and consumed the meat and the unleavened cakes. Then the angel of the Lord departed out of his sight. And when Gideon perceived that he was an angel of the Lord, Gideon said, Alas, O Lord God, for I have seen an angel of the Lord face to face. And the Lord said unto him, Peace be unto you, fear not, you shall not die. Then Gideon built an altar there unto the Lord, and called it Jehovah Shalom. Unto this day it is yet in Ophrah of the Abiezrites. And it came to pass the same night that the Lord said unto him, Take your father's bullock, even the second bullock of 7 years old, and throw down the altar of Baal that your father has, and cut down the idol pole that is by it, and build an altar unto the Lord your God upon the top of this rock, in the ordered place, and take the second bullock, and offer a burnt sacrifice with the wood of the idol pole which you shall cut down. Then Gideon took 10 men of his servants, and did as the Lord had said unto him. And so it was, because he feared his father's household and the men of the city, that he could not do it by day, that he did it by night. And when the men of the city arose early in the morning, behold, the altar of Baal was cast down, and the idol pole was cut down that was by it, and the second bullock was offered upon the altar that was built. And they said to one another, Who has done this thing? And when they inquired and asked, they said, Gideon, the son of Joash, has done this thing. Then the men of the city said unto Joash, Bring out your son, that he may die, because he has cast down the altar of Baal, and because he has cut down the idol pole that was by it. And Joash said unto all that stood against him, Will you plead for Baal? Will you save him? He that will plead for him, let him be put to death while it is yet morning. If he be a god, let him plead for himself, because one has cut down his altar. Therefore, on that day he called Jerubbaal, saying, Let Baal plead against him, because he has thrown down his altar. Then all the Midianites and the Amalekites and the children of the east were gathered together, and went over and encamped in the valley of Jezreel. But the Spirit of the Lord came upon Gideon, and he blew a trumpet, and Abiezer was gathered after him. And he sent messengers throughout all Manasseh, who also was gathered after him. And he sent messengers unto Asher, and unto Zebulun, and unto Naphtali, and they came up to meet them. And Gideon said unto God, If you will save Israel by my hand, as you have said, behold, I will put a fleece of wool in the floor, and if the dew be on the fleece only, and it be dry upon all the earth beside it, then shall I know that you will save Israel by my hand, as you have said. And it was so, for he rose up early the next day, and squeezed the fleece together, and wrung the dew out of the fleece, a bowl full of water. And Gideon said unto God, Let not your anger be hot against me, and I will speak but this once. Let me test, I pray you, but this once with the flea. Let it now be dry upon the fleece, and upon all the ground let there be dew. And God did so that night, for it was dry upon the fleece only, and there was dew on all the ground. Chapter 7. Then Jerubbaal, who is Gideon, and all the people that were with him rose up early, and encamped beside the well of Harod. so that the host of the Midianites were on the north side of them, by the hill of Moreh in the valley. And the Lord said unto Gideon, the people that are with you are too many for me to give the Midianites into their hands, lest Israel vaunt themselves against me, saying, my own hand has saved me. Now therefore go to proclaim in the ears of the people, saying, whosoever is fearful and afraid, let him return and depart early from the Mount Gilead. And there returned of the people 22,000, and there remained 10,000. And the Lord said unto Gideon, the people are yet too many. Bring them down unto the water, and I will test them for you there. And it shall be that of whom I say unto you, this one shall go with you, the same shall go with you. And of whomsoever I say unto you, this one shall not go with you, the same shall not go. So he brought down the people unto the water. And the Lord said unto Gideon, every one that laps the water with his tongue, as a dog laps, him shall you set by himself. Likewise, everyone that bows down upon his knees to drink. And the number of them that lapped, putting their hands to their mouth, were 300 men. But all the rest of the people bowed down upon their knees to drink water. And the Lord said unto Gideon, by the 300 men that lapped will I save you, and deliver the Midianites into your hand. And let all the other people go, every man unto his place. So the people took provisions in their hands and their trumpets, and he sent all the rest of Israel, every man unto his tent, and retained those 300 men. And the host of Midian was beneath him in the valley. And it came to pass the same night that the Lord said unto him, arise, get you down unto the host, for I have delivered it into your hand. But if you fear to go down, go with Phurah your servant down to the host, and you shall hear what they say, and afterward shall your hands be strengthened to go down unto the host. Then went he down with Phurah his servant unto the outside of the armed men that were in the host. And the Midianites and the Amalekites and all the children of the east lay along in the valley like grasshoppers for multitude, and their camels were without numbers, and as the sand by the sea side for multitude. And when Gideon was come, behold, there was a man that told a dream unto his fellow, and said, behold, I dreamed a dream, and lo, a cake of barley bread tumbled into the host of Midian, and came unto a tent, and struck it, so that it fell, and overturned it, that the tent lay flat. And his fellow answered and said, this is nothing else except the sword of Gideon the son of Joash, a man of Israel. For into his hand has God delivered Midian and all the host. And it was so, when Gideon heard the telling of the dream and the interpretation thereof, that he worshipped and returned into the host of Israel, and said, arise, for the Lord has delivered into your hand the host of Midian. And he divided the 300 men into 3 companies, and he put a trumpet in every man's hand, with empty pitchers and lamp within the pitchers. And he said unto them, look on me, and do likewise. And behold, when I come to the outside of the camp, it shall be that as I do, so shall you do. When I blow with a trumpet, I and all that are with me, then blow you the trumpet also on every side of all the camp, and say, the sword of the Lord and of Gideon. So Gideon and the 100 men that were with him came unto the outside of the camp in the beginning of the middle watch, and they had but newly set the watch. And they blew the trumpets, and broke the pitchers that were in their hands. And the three companies blew the trumpet and blew the pitchers, and held the lamp in their left hand and the trumpets in their right hand for blowing. And they cried, "The sword of the Lord and of Gideon." And they stood every man in his place round about the camp, and all the host ran and cried and fled. And the 300 blew the trumpet, and the Lord set every man's sword against his fellow, even throughout all the host. And the host fled to Bethshitta in Zerareth, and to the border of Abel Mohola unto Tabah. And the men of Israel gathered themselves together out of Naphtali, and out of Asher, and out of all Manasseh, and pursued after the Midianites. And Gideon sent messengers throughout all Mount Ephraim, saying, "Come down against the Midianites, and take the water unto Betbarah and Jordan." Then all the men of Israel gathered themselves together, and took the waters unto Betbarah and Jordan. And they took two princes of the Midianites, Oreb and Zeb, and they slew Oreb upon the rock of Oreb, and Zeb they slew at the winepress of Zeb, and pursued Midian, and brought the heads of Oreb and Zeb to Gideon on the other side of Jordan. Chapter 8. And the men of Ephraim said unto him, "Why have you served us thus, that you called us not, when you went to fight with the Midianites?" And they did not argue with him sharply. And he said unto them, "What have I done now in comparison to you? Is not the gleaning of the grapes of Ephraim better than the vintage of Abiezer? God has delivered into your hands the princes of Midian, Oreb and Zeb. And what was I able to do in comparison to you?" Then their anger was abated towards him when he had said that. And Gideon came to Jordan, and passed over, he and the 300 men that were with him, faint, yet pursuing them. And he said unto the men of Succoth, "Give, I pray you, loaves of bread unto the people that follow me, for they are faint, and I am pursuing after Zebah and Zalmunna, the king of Midian." And the princes of Succoth said, "Are the hands of Zebah and Zalmunna now in your hand, that you should give bread unto your army?" And Gideon said, "Therefore, when the Lord had delivered Zebah and Zalmunna into my hand, then I will tear your flesh with the thorns of the wilderness and with briars." And he went up there to Peniel, and spoke unto them likewise. And the men of Peniel answered him as the men of Succoth had answered him. And he spoke also unto the men of Peniel, saying, "When I come again in peace, I will break down this tower." Now Zebah and Zalmunna were in Karkor, and their host with them, about 15,000 men, all that were left of all the host of the children of the east. For there fell 120,000 men that drew the sword. And Gideon went up by the way of them that dwell in tents on the east of Nobah and Jogbehah, and struck the host, for the host felt secure. And when Zebah and Zalmunna fled, he pursued after them, and took the two kings of Midian, Zebah and Zalmunna, and routed all the host. And Gideon the son of Joash returned from battle before the sun was up, and caught a young man of the men of Succoth, and inquired of him. And he described unto him the princes of Succoth, and the elders thereof, even 70 men. And he came unto the men of Succoth, and said, "Behold, Zebah and Zalmunna, with whom you did upbraid me, saying, Are the hands of Zebah and Zalmunna now in your hand, that we should give bread unto you, your men that are weary?" And he took the elders of the city, and thorns of the wilderness, and briar, and with them he taught the men of Succoth. And he beat down the tower of Peniel, and slew the men of the city. Then said he unto Zebah and Zalmunna, What manner of men were they whom you slew at Tabor? And they answered, As you are, so were they. Each one resembled the children of a king. And he said, They were my brethren, even the sons of my mother. As the Lord lives, if you had saved them alive, I would not slay you. And he said unto Jephthah his firstborn, Up and slay them. But the youth drew not his sword, for he feared, because he was yet a youth. Then Zebah and Zalmunna said, Rise you and fall upon us, for as the man is, so is his strength. And Gideon arose and slew Zebah and Zalmunna, and took away the ornaments that were on their camels' neck. Then the men of Israel said unto Gideon, Rule you over us, both you and your son's son also, for you have delivered us from the hand of Midian. And Gideon said unto them, I will not rule over you, neither shall my son rule over you. The Lord shall rule over you. And Gideon said unto them, I will desire a request of you, that you would give me every man the earring of his pearl, for they had golden earrings, because they were Ishmaelites. And they answered, we will willingly give them. And they spread a garment, and did cast therein every man the earrings of his pearl. And the weight of the golden earrings that he requested was 1,700 shekels of gold, beside ornaments and collars, and purple raiment that was on the kings of Midian, and beside the chains that were about the camel's neck. And Gideon made an ephod of it, and put it in his city, even in Ophrah. And all Israel went there and played the harlot with it, which thing became a snare unto Gideon and to his house. Thus was Midian subdued before the children of Israel, so that they lifted up their heads no more. And the country was in quietness 40 years in the days of Gideon. And Zerubbabel the son of Joash went and dwelt in his own house. And Gideon had 70 sons, and his offspring, for he had many wives. And his concubine that was in Shechem, she also bore him a son, whose name he called Abimelech. And Gideon the son of Joash died at good old age, and was buried in sepulchre of Joash his father, in Ophrah of the Abiezrites. And it came to pass, as soon as Gideon was dead, that the children of Israel turned again and played the harlot after Baalim, and made buried their God. And the children of Israel remembered not the Lord their God, who had delivered them out of the hands of all the enemies on every side. Neither showed they kindness to the house of Zerubbabel, namely Gideon, according to all the goodness which he had showed unto Israel. Chapter 9. And Abimelech the son of Zerubbabel went to Shechem unto his mother's brethren, and spoke with them, and with all the family of the house of his mother's father, saying, Speak, I pray you, in the ears of all the men of Shechem, which is better for you, either that all the sons of Zerubbabel, who are 70 persons, reign over you, or that one reign over you. Remember also that I am your bone and your flesh. And his mother's brethren spoke of him in the ears of all the men of Shechem all these ways, and their hearts inclined to follow Abimelech, for they said, He is our brother. And they gave him 10 pieces of silver out of the house of Barberet, with which Abimelech hired worthless and reckless persons who followed him. And he went unto his father's house at Ophrah, and slew his brethren for sons of Zerubbabel, being 10 persons, upon one stone. Nevertheless, yet Jotham, the youngest son of Zerubbabel, was left, for he hid himself. And all the men of Shechem gathered together, and all the house of Milo, and went and made Abimelech king by the oak of the pillar that was in Shechem. And when they told it to Jotham, he went and stood in the top of Mount Gerizim, and lifted up his voice, and cried, and said unto them, Hearken unto me, you men of Shechem, that God may hearken unto you. The trees went forth once to anoint a king over them, and they said unto the olive tree, Reign you over us. But the olive tree said unto them, Should I leave my fatness, with which by me they honor God and man, and go to be promoted over the trees? And the tree said to the fig tree, Come you and reign over us. But the fig tree said unto them, Should I forsake my sweetness and my good fruit, and go to be promoted over the trees? Then said the trees unto the vine, Come you and reign over us. And the vine said unto them, Should I leave my wine, which hears God and man, and go to be promoted over the trees? Then said all the trees unto the bramble, Come you and reign over us. And the bramble said unto the trees, If in truth you anoint me king over you, then come and put your trust in my shadow. And if not, let fire come out of the bramble and devour the cedar of Lebanon. Now therefore, if you have done truly and sincerely, in that you have made Abimelech king, and if you have dealt well with Zerubbabel and his house, and have done unto him according to the deserving of his hand. For my father fought for you, and risked his life, and delivered you out of the hand of Midian. And you are raising up against my father's house this day, and have slain his sons 70 persons upon one stone, and have made Abimelech the son of his maidservant king over the men of Shechem, because he is your brother. If you have then dealt truly and sincerely with Zerubbabel and his house this day, then rejoice you in Abimelech, and let him also rejoice in you. But if not, let fire come out from Abimelech, and devour the men of Shechem and the house of Milo. And let fire come out from the men of Shechem and from the house of Milo, and devour Abimelech. And Jotham ran away and fled, and went to Beer, and dwelt there, for fear of Abimelech his brother. When Abimelech had reigned 3 years over Israel, then God sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the men of Shechem. And the men of Shechem dealt treacherously with Abimelech, that the cruelty done to the 70 sons of Zerubbabel might come, and their blood be laid upon Abimelech their brother, who slew them, and upon the men of Shechem, who aided him in the killing of his brother. And the men of Shechem set men in ambush for him in the top of the mountains, and they robbed all that came along that way by them, and it was told Abimelech. And Gal the son of Ebed came with his burden, and went over to Shechem, and the men of Shechem put their confidence in him. And they went out into the fields, and gathered their vineyards, and trod the grapes, and made merry, and went into the house of their God, and did eat and drink, and cursed Abimelech. And Gal the son of Ebed said, Who is Abimelech, and who is Shechem, that we should serve him? Is not he the son of Zerubbabel, and Zebul his officer? Serve the men of Hamor, the father of Shechem, for why should we serve him? And would to God these people were under my hand, then would I remove Abimelech. And he said to Abimelech, Increase your army and come out. And when Zebul, the ruler of the city, heard the words of Gal the son of Ebed, his anger was kindled. And he sent messengers unto Abimelech secretly, saying, Behold, Gal the son of Ebed and his burden are come to Shechem, and behold, they fortified the city against you. Now therefore, come up by night, you and the people that are with you, and lie in wait in the field. And it shall be that in the morning, as soon as the sun is up, you shall rise early and set upon the city. And behold, when he and the people that are with him come out against you, then you may do to them as you shall find occasion. And Abimelech rose and all the people that were with him by night, and they laid in wait against Shechem in 4 companies. And Gal the son of Ebed went out and stood in the entrance of the gate of the city. And Abimelech rose up, and the people that were with him from lying in wait. And when Gal saw the people, he said to Zebul, Behold, there come people down from the top of the mountains. And Zebul said unto him, You see the shadow of the mountains as they were men. And God spoke again and said, See, there come people down from the middle of the land, and another company comes along the oak of Menonim. Then said Zebul unto him, Where is now your mouth, which you said, Who is Abimelech, that you should save him? Is not this the people that you have despised? Go out, I pray now, and fight with them. And Gal went out before the men of Shechem and fought with Abimelech. And Abimelech chased him, and he fled before him. And many were overthrown and wounded, even unto the entrance of the gate. And Abimelech dwelt at Arumah, and Zebul thrust out Gal and his brethren, and they should not dwell in Shechem. And it came to pass the next day that people went out into the field, and they told Abimelech. And he took the people and divided them into 3 companies, and laid wait in the field. And looked, and behold, the people were coming out of the city. And he rose up against them and struck them. And Abimelech and the company that was with him rushed forward and stood in the entrance of the gate of the city. And the 2 other companies ran upon all the people that were in the fields and slew them. And Abimelech fought against the city all that day. And he took the city and slew the people that were in, and beat down the city and sold it with swords. And when all the men of the tower of Shechem heard that, they entered into a stronghold of the house of the god Berith. And it was told that Abimelech, all the men of the tower of Shechem were gathered together. And Abimelech went up to the Mount Zalmon, he and all the people that were with him. And Abimelech took an axe in his hand, and cut down a bough from the trees, and took it, and laid it on his shoulder, and said unto the people that were with him, What you have seen me do, make haste, and do as I have done. And all the people likewise cut down every man his bough, and followed Abimelech, and put them against the stronghold, and set the stronghold on fire over them. So that all the men of the tower of Shechem died also, about 1,000 men and women. Then went Abimelech to Thebes, and encamped against Thebes, and took it. But there were a strong tower within the city, and there fled all the men and women, and all the day of the city, and shut themselves in, and went up to the top of the tower. And Abimelech came unto the tower and fought against it, and went near unto the door of the tower to burn it with fire. And a certain woman cast a piece of a milestone upon Abimelech's head, and broke his skull. Then he called hastily unto the young man, his armor bearer, and said unto him, Draw your sword and slay me, that men may not say of me, A woman slew him. And his younger man thrust him through, and he died. And when the men of Israel saw that Abimelech was dead, they departed every man unto his place. And God rendered his wickedness of Abimelech, which he did unto his father, in slaying his 70 brethren. And all the evil of the men of Shechem did God render upon their heads, and upon them came the curse of Jotham, the son of Jerubbaal. Chapter 10. And after Abimelech, there arose to deliver Israel Tola, the son of Pua, the son of Dodo, a man of Issachar, and, he dwelt in Shamir in Mount Ephraim. And he judged Israel 23 years, and died, and was buried in Shamir. And after him arose Jair, a Gileadite, and judged Israel 22 years. And he had 30 sons that rode on 30 donkey colts, and they had 30 cities, which are called Havothjar unto this day, which are in the land of Gilead. And Jair died and was buried in Carmel. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of the Lord, and served Baalim and Ashtaroth, and the gods of Syria, and the gods of Zidon, and the gods of Moab, and the gods of the children of Ammon, and the gods of the Philistines, and forsook the Lord, and served not him. And the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel, and he sold them into the hands of the Philistines, and into the hands of the children of Ammon. And that year they harassed and oppressed the children of Israel 18 years, all the children of Israel that were on the other side of Jordan in the land of the Amorites, which is in Gilead. Moreover, the children of Ammon passed over Jordan to fight also against Judah, and against Benjamin, and against the house of Ephraim, so that Israel was greatly distressed. And the children of Israel cried unto the Lord, saying, We have sinned against you, both because we have forsaken our God, and also served Baalim. And the Lord said unto the children of Israel, Did not I deliver you from the Egyptians, and from the Amorites, from the children of Ammon, and from the Philistines? The Zidonians also, and the Amalekites, the Moabites, did oppress you, and you cried to me, and I delivered you out of their hand. Yet you have forsaken me, and served other gods. Therefore I will deliver you no more. Go and cry unto the gods which you have chosen. Let them deliver you in the times of your distress. And the children of Israel said unto the Lord, We have sinned. Do you unto us whatsoever seem good unto you. Deliver us only, we pray you this day. And they put away the foreign gods from among them, and served the Lord, and his soul was grieved for the misery of Israel. Then the children of Ammon were gathered together, and encamped in Gilead. And the children of Israel assembled themselves together, and encamped in Mizpah. And the people and the princes of Gilead said to one another, What man is he that will begin to fight against the children of Ammon? He shall be head over all the inhabitants of Gilead. Chapter 11. Now Jephthah the Gileadite was a mighty man of valor, and he was the son of a harlot. And Gilead begat Jephthah. And Gilead's wife bore him sons, and his wife's son grew up. And they thrust out Jephthah, and said unto him, You shall not inherit in our father's house, for you are the son of another woman. Then Jephthah fled from his brethren, and dwelt in the land of Tob. And Jephthah went, and there were gathered worthless men to Jephthah, and went out with him. And it came to pass in the process of time that the children of Ammon made war against Israel. And it was so that when the children of Ammon made war against Israel, the elders of Gilead went to Jephthah out of the land of Tob. And they said unto Jephthah, Come, be our captain, that you may fight with the children of Ammon. And Jephthah said unto the elders of Gilead, Did you not hate me, and expel me out of my father's house? And why are you come unto me now when you are in distress? And the elders of Gilead said unto Jephthah, therefore we turn against you now, that you may go with us and fight against the children of Ammon, and be our head over all the inhabitants of Gilead. And Jephthah said unto the elders of Gilead, if you bring me home again to fight against the children of Ammon, and the Lord deliver them before me, shall I be your head? And the elders of Gilead said unto Jephthah, the Lord be witness between us, if we do not do so according to your words. Then Jephthah went with the elders of Gilead, and the people made him head and captain over them. And Jephthah uttered all his word before the Lord in Mizpah. And Jephthah sent messengers unto the king of the children of Ammon, saying, what have you done with me, that you have come against me to fight in my land? And the king of the children of Ammon answered unto the messengers of Jephthah, because Israel took away my land when they came up out of Egypt, from Arnon even unto Jabbok, and unto Jordan. Now therefore restore those lands again peaceably. And Jephthah sent messengers again unto the king of the children of Ammon. And he said unto them, thus says Jephthah, Israel took not away the lands of Moab, nor the land of the children of Ammon. But when Israel came up from Egypt, and walked through the wilderness unto the Red Sea, and came to Kadesh, then Israel sent messengers unto the king of Edom, saying, let me, I pray you, pass through your land. But the king of Edom would not listen. And in like manner they sent unto the king of Moab, but he would not consent, and Israel abode in Kadesh. Then they went along through the wilderness, and went around the land of Edom and the land of Moab, and came by the east side of the land of Moab, and encamped on the other side of Arnon, but came not within the borders of Moab, for Arnon was the border of Moab. And Israel sent messengers unto Sihon, king of Amorites, the king of Heshbon. And Israel said unto him, let us pass, we pray you, through your land into my place. But Sihon trusted not Israel to pass through his territories. But Sihon gathered all his people together, and encamped in Jahaz, and fought against Israel. And the Lord God of Israel delivered Sihon and all his people into the hands of Israel, and they defeated them. So Israel possessed all the land of Amorites, the inhabitants of that country. And they possessed all the territories of the Amorites, from Arnon even unto Jabbok, and from the wilderness even unto Jordan. So now the Lord God of Israel had driven out the Amorites from before his people Israel. And should you possess it? Will you not possess that which Chemosh your God gives you to possess? So whomsoever the Lord our God shall drive out from before us, them we will possess. And now are you anything better than Balak, the son of Zippor, king of Moab? Did he ever strive against Israel, or did he ever fight against them? While Israel dwelt in Heshbon and its villages, and in Aroer and its villages, and in all the cities that are along by the border of Arnon, 300 years. Why therefore did you not recover them within that time? Therefore I have not sinned against you, but you do me wrong to war against me. The Lord the judge be judged this day between the children of Israel and the children of Ammon. However, the king of the children of Ammon heeded not unto the words of Jephthah, which he sent him. Then the Spirit of the Lord came unto Jephthah, and he passed over Gilead and Manasseh, and passed over Mizpah of Gilead, and from Mizpah of Gilead he passed over unto the children of Ammon. And Jephthah vowed a vow unto the Lord and said, if you shall without fail deliver the children of Ammon into my hands, then it shall be that whoever comes forth of the doors of my house to meet me when I return in peace from the children of Ammon shall surely be the Lord's, and I will offer it up for a burnt offering. So Jephthah passed over unto the children of Ammon to fight against them, and the Lord delivered them into his hands. And he crushed them from Ariel even till you come to Minith, even 20 cities, and unto the plain of the vineyards, with a very great slaughter. Thus the children of Ammon were subdued before the children of Israel. And Jephthah came to Mizpah unto his house, and behold, his daughter came out to meet him with timbrels and with dances, and she was his only child. Beside her, he had neither son nor daughter. And it came to pass, when he saw her, that he tore his clothes and said, alas, my daughter, you have brought me very low, and you are one of them that trouble me, for I have opened my mouth unto the Lord, and I cannot go back. And she said unto him, my father, if you have opened your mouth unto the Lord, do to me according to that which has proceeded out of your mouth, since the Lord has taken vengeance for you of your enemies, even the children of Ammon. And she said unto her father, let this thing be done for me. Let me alone 2 months, that I may go up and down upon the mountains, and lament my virginity, and I and my companions. And he said, go. And he sent her away for 2 months. And she went with her companions and lamented her virginity upon the mountains. And it came to pass at the end of the 2 months, she returned unto her father, who did with her according to his vow which he had vowed. And she knew no man, and it was a custom in Israel, that the daughters of Israel went yearly to lament the daughter of Jephthah the Gileadite for 4 days in a year. Chapter 12. And the men of Israel gathered themselves together and went northward, and said unto Jephthah, why pass you over to fight against the children of Ammon? I do not call us to go with you. We will burn your house upon you with fire. And Jephthah said unto them, I and my people were at great strife with the children of Ammon. And when I called you, you delivered me not out of their hands. And when I saw that you delivered me not, I put my life in my hands and passed over against the children of Ammon, and the Lord delivered them into my hands. Why then have you come up unto me this day to fight against me? Then Jephthah gathered together all the men of Gilead and fought with Ephraim. And the men of Gilead struck down Ephraim, because they said, you Gileadites are fugitive of Ephraim among the Ephraimites and among the Manassites. And the Gileadites took the ford of Jordan before the Ephraimites, and it was so that when those Ephraimites who were escaped said, let me go over, that the men of Gilead said unto them, are you an Ephraimite? If he said, nay, then said they unto him, say now, Shibboleth. And he said, Shibboleth, for he could not pronounce it right. Then they took him and slew him at the ford of Jordan. And there fell at the time of Ephraimites 42,000. And Jephthah judged Israel 6 years. Then died Jephthah the Gileadite, and was buried in one of the cities of Gilead. And after him, Ibzan of Bethlehem judged Israel. And he had 30 sons and 30 daughters, whom he sent outside for marriage, and took in 30 daughters from outside for his sons. And he judged Israel 7 years. Then died Ibzan, and was buried at Bethlehem. And after him, Elon, a Zebulonite, judged Israel, and he judged Israel 10 years. Elon the Zebulonite died, and was buried in Aijalon in the country of Zebulun. And after him, Abdon, the son of Hillel, a Pirathonite, judged Israel. And he had 40 sons and 30 grandsons that ruled on 60 and 10 donkeys' courts. And he judged Israel 8 years. And Abdon, the son of Hillel, the Pirathonite, died and was buried in Pirathon in the land of Ephraim, in the mount of the Amalekites. Chapter 13. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord delivered them into the hands of the Philistines 40 years. And there was a certain man of Zorah, of the family of the Danites, whose name was Manoah, and his wife was barren and bare not. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto the woman, and said unto her, Behold, you are barren, and you bear not, but you shall conceive, and bear a son. Now therefore beware, I pray you, and drink not wine nor strong drink, and eat not any unclean thing. For you shall conceive, and bear a son, and no razor shall come upon his head. For the child shall be a Nazarite unto God from the womb, and he shall begin to deliver Israel after the hand of the Philistine. And the woman came and told her husband, saying, A man of God came unto me, and his countenance was like the countenance of an angel of God, very awesome. But I asked him from where he was, neither told me his name. But he said unto me, Behold, you shall conceive and bear a son, and now drink no wine nor strong drink, neither eat any unclean thing, for the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb to the day of his death. Then Manoah entreated the Lord and said, O my Lord, let the man of God whom you did send come again unto us, and teach us what we shall do unto the child that shall be born. And God hearkened to the voice of Manoah. And the angel of God came again unto the woman as she sat in the field. But Manoah her husband was not with her. And the woman made haste and ran, and showed her husband, and said unto him, Behold, the man has appeared unto me, that came unto me the other day. And Manoah arose and went after his wife, and came to the man, and said unto him, Are you the man that spoke unto the woman? And he said, I am. And Manoah said, Now let your words come to pass. How shall we order the child, and how shall we do unto him? And the angel of the Lord said unto Manoah, Of all that I said unto the woman, let her be aware. She may not eat of anything that comes of the vine, neither let her drink wine or strong drink, nor eat any unclean thing. All that I commanded her, let her observe. And Manoah said unto the angel of the Lord, I pray you, let us detain you until we shall made ready for a kid for you. And the angel of the Lord said unto Manoah, Though you detain me, I will not eat of your food. And if you will offer a burnt offering, you must offer it unto the Lord. For Manoah knew not that he was an angel of the Lord. And Manoah said unto the angel of the Lord, What is your name? That when your saying come to pass, we may do you honor. And the angel of the Lord said unto him, Why ask you after my name, seeing it is wonderful? So Manoah took a kid with a grain offering, and offered it upon a rock unto the Lord. And the angel did a wondrous thing, and Manoah and his wife looked on. For it came to pass, when the flame went up towards heaven from off the altar, that the angel of the Lord ascended in the flame of the altar. And Manoah and his wife looked on it, and fell on their faces to the ground. But the angel of the Lord did no appear to Manoah and to his wife. Then Manoah knew that he was an angel of the Lord. And Manoah said unto his wife, We shall surely die, because we have seen God. But his wife said unto him, If the Lord were pleased to kill us, he would not have received a burnt offering and grain offering at our hands, neither would he have shown us all these things, nor would at this time have told us such things as this. And the woman bore a son, and called his name Samson. And the child grew, and the Lord blessed him. And the Spirit of the Lord began to move him at times in the camp of Dan, between Zorah and Eshtaol. Chapter 14. And Samson went down to Timnah, and saw a woman in Timnah of the daughters of the Philistines. And he came up and told his father and his mother, and said, I have seen a woman in Timnah of the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore get here for me as a wife. Then his father and his mother said unto him, Is there no woman among the daughters of your brethren, or among all my people, that you go to take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistines? And Samson said unto his father, Get her for me, for she pleases me well. But his father and mother knew not that it was the Lord that he sought an occasion against the Philistine. For at that time the Philistine had dominion over Israel. Then when then went Samson down, and his father and his mother, to Timnah, and came to the vineyards of Timnah, and behold, a young lion roared against him. And the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and he tore him as would have torn a kid, and he had nothing in his hand. But he told not his father or his mother what he had done. And he went down and talked with the woman, and she pleased Samson well. And after a time, he returned to take her, and he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion. And behold, there was a swarm of bees and honey in the carcass of the lion. And he took some of it in his hand, and went on eating, and came to his fathers and mothers, and he gave them, and they did eat. But he told them not that he had taken the honey out of the carcass of the lion. So his father went down unto the woman, and Samson made there a feast, for so used the young men to do. And it came to pass, when they saw him, that they brought 30 companions to be with him. And Samson said unto them, I will now put forth a riddle unto you. If you can certainly declare it to me within the 7 days of the feast, and find it out, then I'll give you 30 linen garments and 30 changes of clothing. But if you cannot declare it to me, then shall you give me 30 linen garments and 30 changes of clothing. And they said unto him, Put forth your riddle, that you may hear it. And he said unto them, Out of the eater came forth food, and out of the strong came forth sweetness. And they could not in 3 days expound the riddle. And it came to pass on the 7th day, that they said unto Samson's wife, Entice your husband, that he may declare unto us the riddle, lest we burn you and your father's house with fire. Have you called us to take what you have? Is it not so? And Samson's wife wept before him, and said, You do but hate me, and love me not. You have put forth a riddle unto the children of my people, and have not told it to me. And he said unto her, Behold, I have not told it to my father nor my mother, and shall I tell it to you? And she wept before him in the 7 days, while their feast lasted. And it came to pass on the 7th day, that he told her, because she pressed him so. And she told the riddle to the children of her people. And the men of the city said unto him on the 7th day, before the sun went down, What is sweeter than honey? And what is stronger than a lion? And he said unto them, If you had not plowed with my heifer, you would not have found out my riddle. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he went down to Ashkelon and slew 30 men of them, and took their spoil, and gave changes of clothing unto them who expounded the riddle. And his anger was kindled, and he went up to his father's house. But Samson's wife was given to his companion, whom he had used as his best man. Chapter 15. But it came to pass after a while, in the time of the wheat harvest, that Samson visited his wife with a kid, and he said, I will go into my wife into the chamber. But her father would not allow him to go in. And her father said, I verily thought that you had utterly hated her. Therefore I gave her to your companion. Is not her younger sister fairer than she? Take her, I pray you, instead of her. And Samson said concerning them, now shall I be more blameless than the Philistine, though I do to them harm. And Samson went and caught 300 foxes, and took torches, and turned tail to tail, and put a torch in the midst between two tails. And when he had set the torches on fire, he let them go into the standing grain of the Philistine, and burnt up both the shocks and also the standing grain with the vineyards and olives. Then the Philistine said, who has done this? They answered, Samson, the son-in-law of the Timnite, because he had taken his wife and given her to his companion. And the Philistine came up and burnt her and her fathers with fire. And Samson said unto them, though you have done this, yet will I be avenged of you, and after that I will cease. And he struck them hip and thigh with a great slaughter. And he went down and dwelt in the top of the rock of Etam. Then the Philistine went up and encamped in Judah, and spread themselves in Lehi. And the men of Judah said, why are you come up against us? And they answered, to bind Samson, we have come here to do to him as he had done to us. Then 3,000 men of Judah went to the top of the rock of Etam, and said to Samson, know you not that the Philistines are rulers over us? What is this that you have done unto us? And he said unto them, as they did unto me, so have I done unto them. And they said unto him, we have come down to bind you, that we may deliver you into the hands of the Philistines. And Samson said unto them, swear unto me that you will not fall upon yourselves.